Let's check in. Hello, my beautiful friends. This is Catherine Bachman. I am an astrologer and a psychotherapist for those of you who are new to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share. I'm a new YouTuber, so really need to work on building up my subscribers. Last Friday, I uploaded a video that covered the first 2 weeks of July because I needed people to have a bit of a heads up how intense things were going to get. And it's been even more so than I thought. But I'm wanting today to simply check in with you. And I will go over what's going to come up the 14th through the 20th. And we have one aspect happening. The energies, it does appear starting the second half of the month that these energies are starting to calm down just a little bit. So, and what's happening and what's about to happen on the 4th with Neptune retrograding. And Neptune is our idealistic planet. It's also the planet that represents lies, manipulation, depression, abuses of all kinds. Those of us, any of you watching this channel, it's like our job and your job, should we choose to accept it, is to hold the light, to hold the love. And, last week's video, I said, this man is going to become even more dangerous, as well as his minions, his administration. And it's not just happening in our country. This is going on around the world. Today, I want to be a reminder. I will talk about the third week coming up, the 18th through like I said, it's the 14th through the 20th, and we've got Mercury retrograding. One more piece of, this is going to be the third planet retrograding that will be coming up. We have Neptune retrograding on the 4th. We have Uranus moving into Gemini. We have Juno, the planet, and actually she's an asteroid. She's about betrayal and abuse. She also is the commitment, feminine asteroid, the feminine commitment. Women, I'm talking to you. We are powerful and getting more powerful. And I peruse YouTube on a daily basis to check in with our youngers, those in my generation, boomers, but also the youngers that are just knocking it out of the ballpark. They are really very powerful and clear and concise and educated and fearless. We have to become more fearless. And we can do that individually, but we don't have to do it alone. So now more than ever, it takes the village. It absolutely takes the village in what's coming up, because I'm recording on Wednesday, July 2nd. And we are about to move into the most intense week and a half of the year. And probably that we've ever experienced as humanity, because again, this isn't just happening to us. We're kind of leading the way. And there's a lot of good reason for that. Country, USA, we are absolutely having to face our shadow, as in, in looking at the US chart, that we absolutely have to face the shadow. We're still orb of influence of the Pluto return. Pluto was at that last degree of Capricorn. I think Pluto in the US birth chart is like at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So he's still close enough that we are still in it. But what he does is he exposes the deep, dark secrets. Pluto is a little bitty, icy planet out on the outer edges of our solar system. But he packs a punch. He was discovered when we could first destroy the first time humanity at this time. I mean, when we go back to Atlantis, the last time we got this point of doing DNA manipulations and all of this behavior where we lost our sense of community, where we lost our souls, basically, was Atlantis, that continent between the Americas and Africa, European countries, was the continent was sunk. To end that, we've come around again, and here we are again. FDR in the 20s and the robber barons of the flappers of the roaring 20s. Here we are again. Robber barons have come back into power, only more power. We're entering a time of very fast-paced changes in regard to technology. So the internet, the ability and the dark side of that, which Pluto also is showing us at this time. I'm an optimistic astrologer, so I want to go, the Aquarian age. We're moving into this age and end of a Kali Yuga and moving into the next, another this big age of the golden age of enlightenment and the balance between all things, male and female. And, as being a female in this lifetime, and I do have done past life regressions, many past lifetimes, and often in the goddess side of things, in pagan or goddess energies, and in leaderships and trying to help protect children, women and children. That was a big part of my soul goal this lifetime as well. This is why I'm on YouTube, and it is about trying to educate, to, be part of the community. I'm in it too. The part of the community where the feminine comes back into balance. So balance between men and women, masculine and feminine. And we're seeing some of the most evil kinds of old patriarchal Aries age, Pisces age abuses of women and children, and that's starting to come out, in particular with the Epstein files. We're watching it on a daily basis as these guys that are hiding behind masks, no badges, no names, no nothing, have been unleashed on our population. We are being attacked from within. And they're being unleashed on our population with a focus on certain groups. But now they're shifting, the administration is shifting into going after citizens. So it's not about the big bad criminals that they're trying to, and it hasn't been since the beginning. We have the American Gestapo is basically what's going on. And we have a lot of wannabe people that are not on a payroll. They're just joining them. And so that's the danger when you've got a lot of people that are really hateful, that they hate minorities, that they've been taught. We have been taught to be divided. We have been taught and groomed to be hateful or fearful of, people that are different from us, different colors, different religions, different backgrounds. Our job at this time is to, if you need to, detach from what's going on, detach from the media, except where there is a call for us to step up. And, there are going to be protests, especially if this bill gets the more draconian Senate bill is then passed in the House. You're going to see pretty much the whole country out on the streets. We've passed that percentage of protesters to have shifted the energies, and these guys know their time is limited, but they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep hitting us on different levels in different ways. The job is not to go into fear. The job is to, find your family, your community, and do what you can. There's going to be lots and lots of needs, especially over the next 6 months. Because if this goes into law, then a lot of it is designed, from what I understand, a lot of the Medicare and Medicaid cuts are designed to not hit until 2025, 2026, 2027. so that then their next propaganda thing is to convince gullible people that it's the Democrats that are cutting your Medicare and Medicaid and that are doing all this stuff. I am pleased that there has been a reading, that the Democrats have read all this, but when the media doesn't cover it, and particularly Fox News, which is not news, by the way. I'm going to put my disclaimer in here. This is informational only. These are my opinions. So for YouTube, for the censors, it's like this is, I am speaking to things that have been set up as truths and known as being truths. We have the third planet going retrograde on the 18th, Mercury. He is halfway through the sign of Leo. He is at 15 degrees of Leo. So I've mentioned in the last video that when planets are at anywhere from the last 2 degrees of a sign, so 27, 20, 8, 29, 30, we could give it 3, to 2 to 3 degrees of the new sign is very potent. Those are the planetary energies are more potent. So when they're going direct, this is going to be a time of bringing out what we've researched. So we've got all of the outer planets in the process of going retrograde. Mercury retrograde is retrograde for 3 weeks. Mercury is our communications, it's our thought processes, it's information. In the sign of Leo, Leo is the courageous, lion or lioness, the protective king, the protective queen, cares for the children, cares for the families. This is absolutely being triggered, absolutely going to be triggered in order to develop new strategies. It's time to come up with, okay, we need to organize, we need to figure out what's going on and how we can apply this information. And we are so fortunate to have the indivisibles. We are so fortunate to have 50501, to have the No Kings organizations, to have the veterans, to have the native tribes, to have whatever group. We're all being attacked. We're going to all suffer. You can't attack migrants and not have all of us pay the price and suffer. At some point, it's going to click. There's that. Bitchy, I clicked. It's going to click that we are all connected. That what we allow to happen to the least of us, is absolutely coming to us when you're dealing with people in these extremely low vibrations, who have no heart, who have no soul. Yeah, I don't think that's true. Who have no conscience. And, there's all kinds of reasons for that. Usually what happens in the childhood. Find ways to connect, find ways to get out. Do not isolate. Please, please, please do not isolate. If you can't drive, but you can call Uber, have someone come pick you up so that you can go and sit, on and watch the parade go by, or look up, because you can use the internet still to look up these organizations and find out ways that you can help, that maybe if you are homebound, that you can still help. I am more optimistic than I have been since DT came down the escalator. I'm going, oh no, there's no way this is gonna be good for the country. And definitely since the election, because I just listened to the Mark Thompson show on YouTube and the election integrity group, and one of my favorite, I didn't write his name down. I'm sorry, but check out today, July 2nd, Mark Thompson show interview of the now reporting of election interference that has been research. And these are technical people. They're people who, look at how the elections have been done and how the machines have been manipulated, and they have their statisticians, or they are world renowned. They are, a lot of them have been working with the Europeans and others around the planet where their elections have been manipulated as well. So that report came out today. It's really much more comprehensive than what I have seen before. So make sure you see that, send it to all your friends. There are others. The guy that is the spokesperson for the Election Integrity Alliance is making the rounds. Check him out and share that. They are calling for recounts. We've survived 6 months of this president and this regime. So it's like, we need to say, absolutely, we need recounts. We need recounts of all of these swing states. And then we need to sue for there to be recounts in other states as well. She won. That's the title. Stolen? Question mark. Swing state vote data shows possible tampering? Question mark. And then other articles are now saying she won, and not by. It's not a squeaky. It's not close. It's not even close. The sun on the 18th is in the latter degrees of Cancer, but within orb of conjuncting the part of fortune. And then to have Mercury retrograde in Leo, there's going to be all kinds of changes coming in, and communication about, the exposure of what's been going on, the lies, the deceit, the corruption, the heinous crimes that this administration are perpetuating every day. And it's not just in this country. It will eventually expose the money trail and expose the oligarchs involved. It will expose the collaborations between oligarchs globally. And it is all about money. It's all about them getting as much money as they can. And, like Sheldon Whitehouse said in a little short today, last night when they signed this bill, we experienced the greatest transfer of wealth from the people of America to the 0.5%, or the 1%ers, to the millionaires, billionaires mostly. What? So they can buy another island? I don't know. The point is, it's like, information is now coming out. We are still waiting to hear what Anonymous is going to be releasing. There's a battle going on between Mr. Musk and DT. And DT is threatening to deport him and to cancel all of his, contracts. And it has been, so many of the really amazing tarot readers, mediums, and astrologers out there have been saying, there's a good chance Elon Musk is going to blow the whistle and turn state's evidence, so that, because the writing is on the wall. You can't hitch your wagon to this man. There is no loyalty. He has no loyalty. He takes what he wants from you, and then, there is no loyalty for him. That's, again, a little bit of the FAFO for not just MAGAs, but for we're now seeing that the oligarchs are turning on each other. And it's kind of the phrase, they're starting to eat their own, which is the logical next steps that are happening. And especially as this information is revealed, and all of the alternative news and international news is going to cover it. Those countries where their media is not complicit in the perpetuating the lies and trying to manipulate the people. So mainstream media, if you want a little entertainment, watch it. I wouldn't recommend it. Go for investigative journalists that are in alternative media at this point. Mercury retrograde is a 3-week period. of rethinking, redoing, reconsidering the exposure of research evidence that has been hidden, exposure of secrets as well. So another way that this energy can manifest over the next 3 weeks is that whistleblowers are going to start to show up because they're watching these two very powerful people that are going after each other. They're all little peons. They're small cogs in the bigger wheel, right? So the chances of them getting totally trashed and paying the price, especially if they were part of like the little Doge boys teams that were there, there's going to be a big scramble to see who can negotiate first and who can go work with. And it's not going to be the current administration because Pam Bondi and all of the people in this administration are corrupt, but they're going to also be going, oh, now what do we do? Some of what may be exposed is how ill DT is. Many, many major health issues, and their program for the last 84 years it's all about deflection. And you guys are smart enough to know that. It's all about information as we go into that third week of the month with Mercury retrograding. Actually, there's really positive news coming in on July 20th. July 19th is kind of quiet. So it's like I start to see the chart for the month to get a little quieter, to get a little more positive and not so hard, not so harsh. A lot of the stuff that they're doing is about getting the headlines out there. It's not about any of that's going to actually manifest. So they're making this huge, huge storm of scary information to get us to quit, to get us to fold, to get us to go into fear. February and March, particularly, we started to receive some information and people started to say, wait a minute, so April, May, June were intense. They were, the energies, planetary energies are of the breakdown process. And the disappointment is that there wasn't evidence coming out faster for those of us that know it's out there, and know it's coming. It's not our timing. It is divine timing. And so we have no clue of all of the little cogs that needed to fall into place before this can be exposed and these people can be removed. But it's coming. This month is the most intense of all the months of the year. And we should start to move into more energies of stabilization September, through the end of the year and into 2026. It's impossible to give exact dates, but what's going to facilitate this process is for more of us to get out there, to stay loving, to celebrate, to be peaceful, and to also be silent. I mean, silent protest at times. We can have all of our signs and what have you, but when you see millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people in the larger cities or millions, and no one's saying a word, they're just showing up in their power. And that is very intimidating, very intimidating. Powers that be, I believe, are really needing to hear that enough Americans are like saying, no, we're not doing this. I don't care what they're trying to shove down our throat. We're not doing that. We can hold compassion, forgiveness. That's what we need to hold for what they are doing. But it is awakening us to who we are and what we really want. And from this place, we need to, on a local level, all the way to a national level, have regular people ready to step into power to say, here's what our community wants when we begin a rebuilding process, when we begin a stabilization process, and the least amongst us have to be served first. Where do we get the money to redo that? Well, that's going to come from the oligarchs, just like it did back with FDR. I think there are going to be some changes in international laws so that people can't hide their monies in offshore bank accounts. Just the thought, recoup it and begin to stabilize the people. But we will never, after this, I absolutely do not see, we will never give over our power to politicians, and to big corporations. There's going to be a tremendous amount of changes that are implemented over the course of between now and 2044, but 2032 particularly. Fast-paced change, Pluto Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini in a beautiful trine energy, the gift of each other, where they haven't been so happy together. Uranus has been in my sign of Taurus, not a happy placement, and I'm going to have a party when he moves into Gemini next week on July 7th. He is going to back in, but I think I can handle that in the fall. Just to know that you are the light, you are a spark of the Creator. We are all a gloriously beautiful big family. We've got this. And for those who cannot participate because of health issues or trying to keep a little bit of a job so they can feed their children, we've got this. There are enough of us that can get out there on the streets, that can, people do need to call these Republicans. I'm going to mention that. Call the White House, ask for Republicans in your state, or just start calling Republicans and say, you do this, you pass this thing, you're out. We don't want to do anything violent. Definitely. I was seeing some people so angry they were picking up their weapons, and we cannot do that. That feeds into giving them the opportunity to declare martial law and sick their, modern day Gestapo on us. Stay light, stay in love. We are a very big family. The future really is going to be very beautiful. These guys aren't going to win. It may feel like they win a few of the skirmishes, but they're not winning the battle. Humanity is not going to put up with violence and lies and manipulation and human trafficking and suppression and abuse of women and children and the earth. We aren't going to do it anymore. So I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Get out there and protest, dance, play, help your family, help your community. We will get through this. Okay, I'll be back on Tuesday with another healing video, generational healing video. But Fridays, I do the astrology, more of the astrology, and I kind of blend astrology into all of it. So take care of yourselves, get out and get into good trouble, keep the faith, look in the mirror and tell yourself you are a child of the cosmos. You are a spark of the Creator. You are love and you are light. Much love to you all, and I will talk to you later.